Hey guys, so it's Sunday. I still haven't figured out to do a really cool intro thing, so that might have to wait a while, but at least I can cut. So today we are talking about, and the theme of this week is books you have read, favorite authors, and favorite books. Well, I'm gonna be honest here. I am a huge book nerd, and by huge, I mean like huge. You know the BBC list of like, oh, chances are you've only read like 6 of these books. I have read at least 45 last time I counted, and I read a lot over the summer. So, yeah, I like just exceed expectations on the book front. So, I'll tell you some of my favorites, and I have a lot. I only brought some of my books up to SFU. I have a whole ceiling bookshelf at home, and I didn't bring all of that. I only brought a couple of shelves, but they're moving in. So let's see what I got. So I don't know if you can see here, but I have a small, not so small, stack of books. What I'm reading right now is the Harry Potter series. So this is just kind of my favorite books, kind of because I love so many. It's really hard for me to pick, so I just kind of grab some random ones off the shelf that I know I love. First of all, we have The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. It's about vampires. It's not like, like kind of your Twilight vampires and stuff. It's like super awesome, freaky, scare the pants off of you vampires. And it's really good. A huge book, but I love it. Next is V for Vendetta, the graphic novel. This is, I don't know if anyone's seen the movie. The movie is amazing, but so is the graphic novel. And like the drawings there's a lot of different plot lines. The drawings are pretty cool and old school. And there's some definitely a lot different than the movie in some aspects, which I think is cool. Next, we have the ever loved classic, 1984 by Mr. Orwell. Now, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, Kira, you're selling out because it's just a classic." Well, I love classic novels, most of them, except for Wuthering Heights. I hated that book. I could not understand what was going on. But George Orwell is just such a great like dystopian writer, and that's kind of the style I like to write in. So and just it's so well written and so awesome. The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. Some of you may remember seeing the movie in the 90s. I know I sure did, and I also had the book on tape, but like I found it for free at the library actually, and I just snagged it because I remember reading it as a kid and having it read to me, and it's one of just my favorite stories. Just because of, I guess, the childhood aspect, but there's also this weird kind of like just fantasy thing. It's a certain type of fantasy that's hard to describe, and I really like it. Next, we have one of my more recent favorites, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. Can I just say that Oscar Wilde is a BAMF? Like, is this appropriate? Because I'm pretty sure it is. His writing is spectacular. I've only read a couple of his works. I've read Dorian Gray and then some short stories. And just the way he writes is like, oh, stab me through the heart and leave me to die. Like, it's great. So, yeah. Next, we have a book I actually read this summer because my boyfriend recommended it, The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. I'm going to say, like, everyone should read this book. Like, everyone's like, oh, read Atlas Shrugged. No, this right here is why reading is awesome. Just the way she writes is so brilliant and so well thought out. It's kind of amazing. And last we have the wonderful Victor Hugo with Les Miserables. I read this book last year, but something about the French Revolution I've always liked. And so this book was just fabulous. I have the unabridged version, as you can see, it's a tome. It's at least 1,000 pages, but it is spectacular to read. I love it, and like all these other books, incredibly well written. So look at those. And that's all. So Avery, I will see you Monday, and everyone else have a fabulous week.